Hello and welcome to Minigame Monday. It is May 5th. It's already May. We're already just 2 weeks away from our convention in May 16th through 18th for Protospiel Online 2025 May. And we are doing a puzzle to celebrate people who brought their prototypes and listed them on the website back in the August 2024 session. Getting pretty close to the end of the puzzles that feature August 2024 titles. I think we have 2 more after today. And it's also, I will put this up on the chat for you. The last day of early bird sales for the May session. We sell badges all the way through. Like, while the convention's open, we keep selling badges in case people want to hop in last minute. But best experience is to get them in time to learn, especially if you're brand new, to learn about all the different options and the way to navigate in the Discord server and participate in the live event. So let me, get to the chat. Here's the dates and the link for badges. So as I'm recording this, until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, which is a little less than 12 hours from now as I'm recording this, the badges are on early bird sale, and then they'll be on sale for regular after that. Hello, Jack. Thanks for joining me. And let me get the link also for the puzzle that you can play alongside with me or anytime you want to visit it. Today it will be a jigsaw puzzle. And I have 4 different kinds of puzzles I've been doing in these Minigame Mondays. I think that the jigsaw puzzle is honestly becoming my favorite to stream. It's the easiest to stream because I don't have to. I think I'm looking at imagery. I'm using the imagery center of my brain while I'm talking, and that is easier for me to do than using the word center of my brain while I'm talking. But that's the link that you can share with friends or play yourself. And I'm gonna switch over now to that screen. Let me put that link back up. I'll keep this up as a reminder. That's where you go to get badges. If you would like to be one of the people who shares your prototype and gets featured eventually in one of these puzzle streams, that's how you do it. And I'll keep an eye on the chat. If anybody has anything to say, I'll replace what they're saying with this link. Okay. So this is a kind of word art of all of the titles. This has been a 5-part series, so this is 1/5 of the titles that were shared on the website before, or technically you can share them during the convention. It's the best if you can get in before so that you can be featured on our showcase stream, which will be about a week and a half from now on Thursday, May 15th. If I want to see the image, I can bring it up this way. I think I'll go ahead and read out the titles out loud before I get started, and then I'm gonna just close it down and not open it unless I get really stuck. So puzzle by number, domino adventure thingy, I'm sure that's the final title. Beat tag, chrono crew, as the earth crumbles, uncantations, painkillers, capybara crush, Professor Whizzlepuff's element rodeo, Kells, Lilyhop, Doomcat, Pirates of the High Teas, Risible Relatives Reunion, and Summoner's Dilemma. Okay, so I'll close that down, and I'm gonna go edges only. That is a nice time-saving, I don't have time for the edges feature. I know in real life when I'm making a physical jigsaw puzzle, this is always I think it's a very common strategy to start with the edges. Okay, I see domino, that's adventure. thingy. This is, I don't know. I know that this is Derwent Reedy's game, and Derwent has been making a lot of games that use dominoes. I think inspired by a game crafter, I guess, a contest that was, I don't think it was straight up use dominoes as the challenge. I think it was like odd parts or like unique part or something like that, but domino is what really got under Derwent's skin, and he made I don't know, off the top of my head I can think of at least 3 games, and I think there might have been more than that were that use dominoes as a central feature. Jack says they're cleaning up. It's complicated finally. Might have a oh, it's complicated. It's too complicated. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's too complicated. Might have a playable version soon. I think so. Well, I thought I played it. It was playable. I guess maybe it became unplayable based on changes you wanted to make. Yeah, it's too complicated. Was more complicated than it's complicated. So I think I played it with Matthew and he rage quit on me. I don't know. Our pretend beef. Matthew Hawker of Coup Games, and a major one of the main admins in Break My Game. Risible Relative Reunion. This is what this one is. Okay, come here. Come here. Matthew did quit because I sniped a bingo space from him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm way more practiced at bingo than he is. This is I I understand bingo more from playing Protospiel bingo, I guess. Yeah, Matthew, if you want to win at It's Too Complicated, you're going to have to practice with Protospiel bingo. Matthew is a very social creature, and I think that bingo is too much of a, at least the way that it works at Protospiel Online is probably too much of a solo activity for him to be very drawn to it. Okay. So Risible Relative Reunion is a game. Sean, I'm blanking on Sean's last name right now. Sean's game. That is actually it's a set of cards that you can play lots of different games with. And I don't think I know what the word risible means. I feel like I should have asked him. But maybe this is it. But the relatives are like each game is a different, the concept would be this is a family reunion where everybody in the family likes to make games. So each game is named after a relative that this is their game that they're bringing to the reunion. Okay. R-E-L. This is probably the E. Tiv. Okay. I think that with the first, it's complicated. The experience of playing it was that it did take longer to teach the rules than to play the game. Like there were many different systems, and then basically pick one to exploit. And the game is almost designed to make it so something's going to trigger a win condition because there's many different possible ways to win. Reunion. Okay, this got to be relatives. Relatives reunion. Plural relatives. Yeah, so you almost, it feels like you could trigger the end of the game, and it's complicated one, with accidentally, potentially. Is this it? Okay, that's going to be Professor Whizzlepuffs, and I need the. This is the end of this. There must be something. Well, okay, yeah, it's this one. It's right there. Okay. There. Yeah, so I think that it's complicated. It's too complicated. Didn't as much feel like that to me, and maybe that's what you're still going for, Jack, is to get it more like it pretty much in like 2 to 3 rounds you actually finish it, even though there's a ton going on. Okay. This is on this side. We need some purple. Okay. And puzzle by number is up here. I need like a Y. Okay. By number. Jack says they want it to clock in about an hour once you know how to play. So not counting the teach. Okay, back to that. I wonder if, it's kind of the very idea of the game is sort of a art piece or a comedy play. I wonder if you picture people, if you want it to be something that people play again, or they play it for the experience to laugh about how games get too complicated. There was a article from Jeff Engelstein. Oh, Sean's last name is Ball. I remember it now. It's not spelled like B-A-L-L, but it's pronounced like that. Just popped into my mind. But yeah, this article from Jeff Engelstein was about a theory that he has now of what makes for a good gateway game, and that being that it there's a single direction things go. There's not like a feedback loop, like those kind of games where you consider spending victory points, or like say like money is victory points, and sometimes you have to spend money to do things, and you're kind of doing that forward backward calculation of, well, will I eventually get more points than I'm spending right now, or whatever. There's a little bit of a feedback loop, or things that you choose to do are likely to make you better able to do things later. It's interesting, he called out both Splendor and Patchwork as something that as gateway games where it was pretty much a single direction, or I don't know. I guess you're not weighing, well, I guess you are kind of, with Patchwork, you're taking pieces and placing them into a patchwork quilt on your board. They're polyominoes, and some of them have buttons, and when you cross on the time track something that brings you income, based on how many buttons are on your board, that's how many buttons you get, and buttons are what you spend. They're the currency you spend to get pieces. I do think that you're choosing. There's a balance between choosing pieces that will cover a lot of your board and pieces that have buttons. Of course, you only can afford what you can afford at the time, so that can limit your choices. But and I hear a lot of people say that Splendor is like the most simple engine builder, and he called out Splendor as something that doesn't have a feedback loop. I guess because the engine you're building is very simple. Simply, you have more blue gems than you did before, and you don't need to collect the physical token to be able to spend the blue gem. And I mean, he mentioned it. He mentioned that, yes, you're getting stronger, but it's simple. But he said something becomes an engine builder. Or this is what I took away when it's when there is more of a back and forth decision that you're making. But yeah, I don't know. I guess engine builder is a difficult thing to define in working on these puzzles, and sort of how I give people opportunity to sort and label their prototypes, and also related to bingo, which I mentioned before. I've been doing a lot of reworking of the things that are included in the Protospiel bingo, the squares that could be on the bingo card, adding more mechanics and themes and everything. And in doing that, I want to link to definitions of them on BGG, but engine builder is something I put in there because I feel like it's definitely colloquially something that we talk about at an engine builder. As a type of game, a feeling of a game, at least. But it is not... Jeff Engelstein is one of the authors of the kind of encyclopedia that they have officially adopted on BGG, Board Game Geek, as their official mechanic tags that people can put on when they list a new game for the... Board Game Geek is basically an encyclopedia of published board games. Let's see, Whistlepuff. There's a W. It's probably, yeah, okay. Yeah, but engine builder is not a mechanic. It's not even a family that anybody has. You can't find like an officially sanctioned or whatever list of engine building games on Board Game Geek. So I ended up having... most of my links are to that, but I had to find just an article on another website to link to for now. Professor... So Jack says Jeff might be speaking in terms of in-game versus end-game feedback. Splendor doesn't really tell you if you're doing good until the game is over. There's some points you can see, right? But a new player, like, yeah, you can see how many points people have on the board, but a new player won't know how to value them versus an engine improvement. Maybe. Yeah, like, it's like he's talking about the first time, the experience the first time somebody plays. Since we're talking about gateway games, meaning games that introduce or bring people into the hobby when they haven't played before. So the first play is the more... the thing that's more being focused on what that experience is like. I could see that potentially being true. It's definitely not like... I also think about, for example, like gizmos as very much a lot of people would describe Gizmos is an engine building game. And that is a game that is, the theme is very pasted on, but it's about inventions that all the cards have just illustrations of inventions and different types of energy that they produce in their different colors. And you need to have different colors of energy to buy certain cards, and building 16 cards ends the game, and then you score points. So it's not just, you want to build 16 cards that have the best points. Rodeo is after that. But painkillers need... Oh, okay, they do connect. Muzzle puffs. Muzzle puff. Okay. Element. Yeah, whereas with Splendor, I believe it's just a race. Like, as the first person who it's actually been a while since I've played a lot of Splendor Duel lately, and that's more familiar to me at this point. I've played that a lot on Board Game Arena, and I have the physical copy too. And in that game, there's 3 different possible ways to win. 3 different possible things you could be going for, but it's still just a race. Like, if you do it first, you win. The game ends instantly. Whereas I think that does play in a lot to Whizzlepuff's element rodeo, into the simplicity of it. Like, when the end state has been reached. I need one more. Oh, yeah. Okay. I do like the parts in the middle that are the pieces are kind of even with the word, so I can see most of the word instead of the top and the bottom of the word. That is the easier part always to get. This is going to be Capybara Crush. To get started in the middle. It's kind of like the secondary edge in this with these particular types of pictures that I've made. I had to think for a while about how to do jigsaw puzzles in this context, because even if I started having a system of asking people for permission to use the picture that they included for their prototype, it doesn't make a very cohesive anything to borrow these from people's pages. And something feedback I've heard, is this just right here, Cal's? Okay, there we go. Is some people don't want to participate in posting their prototypes because you're required to give one image, and that's for the purposes of making it like there definitely being an image that would show up on the link embed if it were to be shared on any of the places, Discord as well as any social media site that embeds, like puts the meta information from the page in the link. So that's why you need an image, but it just needs to be an image, so that will be filled out and it won't be like a dead blank empty sort of looking embed. But people feel pressure, I think, when they have to choose. This must be it. Here it is. I'm looking for that one specific piece. When they have to choose an image to put up. And it definitely does. Like, there is a capybara. I think it goes there. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's just not. I see. I thought it was connected, and it's not. I was thinking that's too... Okay. Yeah, there's a tendency to compare, like, other people's looks further along than yours, and then you get in your head about yours not being as done as you wish it was, etc. And so it can be kind of a barrier for people when they run into needing to share an image. But yeah, by the same token, I don't want to give people the impression that it needs to look great. It needs to be a snapshot. It's more like a yearbook, a scrapbook sort of where things were at the time. It doesn't have to be gorgeous. But when you start putting things into a pulled together image to do as a jigsaw puzzle, it's part of putting the puzzle together is envisioning what the picture is going to look like at the end, and kind of it needing to be an organized thought. I think makes a puzzle easier, more fun. So trying to figure out how to evenly use everybody's images that they shared and everything. That was like my first thought. Everybody, if it's in the prototype listing, there is an image of some kind, but they're very different kinds of images, and I want it to be that way. I don't want to fight against that tendency. So I was glad that I thought of, okay, we can do words and kind of play with color blocks and stuff. And then everybody has a title, and that makes it very even playing field. So that was a brainwave I had that I was grateful for. Is this likely to be the bottom of that, or it's not here? And if it is here, it's early because there's a dark blue block there. Is this uncantations? I think that looks right. Okay. Shuns. I need more letters. Oh, and here's the U probably. That's where it was. Okay, sorry, I missed something Jack was saying. In-game negative feedback is a real filter for non-gamers. In-game negative feedback. You mean it's filter as in like they bounce off of it when they're new? Yes, they are the same weekend. It's true. One thing about in-person protospiels generally end on Sunday, and they generally end like at 4 or something on Sunday, and a lot of people also travel home on that day. So Sunday at in-person protospiel is usually a quieter day, the slowest day, and that is not really true for protospiel online. Sunday night can be maybe some of the most jumpin' part of it. And so, yeah, if people are going to both this time, usually online is not the same weekend as one of the more established, at least, in-person protospiels. But this time, basically, I set my dates a year in advance, and I don't have to worry about a venue being available. My venue is always available. I am the only one who uses it, and I don't have to worry about it being taken or more expensive on a particular weekend or whatever. And I think that when Carl and I agreed that I would go ahead and pick the date that I picked before he even I picked it like in 2024, probably before he ran Indy 2024, that he would try to avoid it. But ultimately there aren't very many people who go to both. So for those few people who go to both, it's a bummer. But Jack being indie based, so that is Jack's local Protospiel. But yeah, Scott Starkey is one of our mods who's also Protospiel Indie is his local one. And so he is more of a morning person. Jack is more of a late night person. So maybe Sunday night will work for you, Jack. Or can be more of a late night person. But yes. Yep. 2 badges. Yep. I assume you mean one for indie and one for online. I think it's unlikely to happen again after this year, because May is a tough month for indie. This is also part of, what I know Carl is dealing with is like, it's the Indianapolis 500 in May. Or that's, I think, always Memorial Day weekend in Indianapolis. And so that's something he has got to schedule around, as well as, I'm so confused about this part, as well as just graduation and Mother's Day and everything that no matter where you are in the US is going on. So it's been a bit of a challenge to make May work. And there used to be a Protospiel in April in not Minneapolis. It's in another state. I've been there a few times. I'm trying to remember the name of this Milwaukee, this city that's close to Madison, Wisconsin. There used to be a Protospiel Milwaukee in April, and that one I don't think is going to continue. So yeah, events-driven town, because it can be difficult for that reason. Yeah, and I think that Protospiel Indie is not, if I am not mistaken, it's in like the suburbs. It's in the outskirts of the city. But I've not ever made it to the Indie Protospiel. I haven't been there myself. Okay, I said it's easier for me to talk when playing these puzzles and other things, and I think it is easier, but it still slows me down when I'm thinking about 2 things at once. That's okay. I like the company, though. The one in, it's a bit far north. The one in Indy, north of the city. Yeah, I mean, it's a because of Gen Con being in Indianapolis, it feels important to have a Protospiel in Indianapolis too that is thriving. I think that's good for, whether people go to whether I go to it or not. I think it is something that I think it helps everybody. I bet you this goes like here somewhere. Can't tell what it is. This one's stumping me a little bit. This one is connected, right? Yeah, okay. Ooh. Oh, that's funny. I moved it around and it just picked up the pieces. That's not going to happen when you play a physical jigsaw puzzle. That things are just gonna like, I'll just pick this up and like it'll just finish itself. Done and done. Okay. Cantations. Does that go here? No. Is it really that close? Okay, yeah, it's right there. Yeah, all the discussion, coffee talk, to be complaining about tariffs. Yeah. I don't know. In January, the new administration was just about to come in, and I kind of expected a vibe of being really focused on that, and that's not really what happened. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that the problem with tariffs is definitely something that we need to be on top of and supporting each other through, and finding things that we can do about it, or finding solutions. But I don't know. I think maybe having something else to focus on is a nice break from that too. So we'll see if that's coming up a lot. Of course, I don't. Maybe it was happening more in coffee talk, and I just wasn't spending time in there. As I mention a lot, am really focused on getting as many play tests as I can in, so I don't usually spend very much time in the in coffee talk, though I'll pop into it. But you have 15 containers waiting for you to pay 920,000 before they can be unloaded. So for now, they are not getting unloaded. Yeah. And it's very hard to imagine things staying this way with toys and games, because they're a big part of games are basically the same as toys. I guess this is our biggest hope, is like wherever toys go, games go. And there's not gonna I don't see how our economy functions without Christmas presents, and there aren't going to be anything. I know I think if it was to me, I'd make the same decision when I saw Jamie Stegmaier on, I think it was a CNN interview. But the last thing, or when he has asked, well, if this doesn't change, what do you think is going to be your what do you think how do you think your company is going to deal with it? And his answer was, well, we sell 35% of what we make in other countries, so I think we might become a company that is 35% the size, and we will only do business in other countries. Goodness. I feel like this has got to be here. I need to look at the... Yeah, that's Doomcat. It is right here. I'm right about that. But I just can't find the specific peg to put it in. Huh. I guess I just need to keep waiting. This is... I think Painkillers was up here. And I don't know, like, it ends up being that the US is a very consumer heavy. D is under W. So it would be right here. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want to believe it. I was like too far over. Thanks. But yeah. But American companies not selling to American consumers could be the way it goes if it doesn't change, and that doesn't seem like it's very likely to be anybody's goal. So I don't know. It seems like it's going to have to change, but the question is, how long is it going to take to change? I mean, yeah, things always change. Like, that's the only constant in the world, right? Is that things continually change. There will be a difference, and yeah, will it be a good difference or a bad difference? killers. Okay, I'm making progress. I find a lot of times when I'm doing these, I'll be like really stuck at a certain place, and then suddenly I'll finish the whole thing in like 60 seconds. I might be reaching that tipping point. Come here. Yeah, and the type of puzzle I've had the most trouble with, I think this has got to be there, streaming and getting done on time. That's, part of my goal here is to make it doable for me to run these streams, is to keep them short. And I guess when I have somebody to talk to, it always does slow me down a little bit. But especially with the word search, it's very hard for me to search for the words and talk or think about anything else besides just focusing. I think word search is almost like a meditative type of puzzle. Like, it's not really logic based, right? Or knowledge outside. It's just think of one thing, look. And maybe that's, what makes it good, is when you can kind of zone out any other thought, or that's why people like to do them. And just have the reward center burst of, I found a thing that I was looking for. Goal met. I think I'm going to stop trying to... I have one more of them that's from the August section. Huh. It's so tricky. It feels like it has to be here, but it's not the right kind of shape there. Oh, it's here. It's up here. There's one more place it could be, which is where it is. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. No, you're not the problem. It's good to visit with you. And it's good to have a visitor for this stream to kind of keep the ideas for what to talk about while I puzzle things together flowing. Yeah, but I think I'm going to try the next time I do a word search, which is going to be next week, and that'll be the last one for August, the August 2024 set of titles. The last word search, and then one more Jigsaw after that. I am going to use it as an opportunity to look more closely at the game. So I'll look at the title. That's, I'll just go through them in alphabetical order the way the puzzle is. I'll open the page for it on the website because, I think I'm saying something wrong. I cannot remember which set of words is, okay, there. Oh, no. Yes. This one, I'm right. I've been right the whole time. I've been saying these were on the website. Yes, they were on the website because I was considering using pictures for them instead of titles. But it's going to be right there. But the others were, if they're in the word search, they were play tested. So they were shared in the server. So I'm not very keen on screen sharing anything in the server because people's real names are in there, and I just feel like it's an invasion of privacy to just raw screen share things. But I'm going to search for them in the Discord server. So I won't look at the website. I will look at the Discord server and talk about what I see as I look it up. What was like what they were looking for at the time that they asked for the playtest and stuff. And then if anybody's watching with me, they can tell me, they can look for it while I talk about the game. And if they happen to have found it, they can tell me where it is. And if they haven't happened to have found it, I will ask the hint system that's built into the puzzle to tell me where it is. And I won't spend any time scanning beyond finding the blinking dot where the first letter is. And just give people time to look for themselves by talking about the game for a minute or so. And we'll see how that goes. That'll maybe be a different format that will hopefully work better and be a little more conversational than just trying to focus and stare at a screen. Yep. I hit that tipping point where there's no other option. Okay, it took me 37 minutes. And yeah, this is a tool that you can create your own puzzle for whatever reasons you want. Okay, let me come back to main screen to say goodbye and remind you today specifically is the last day to get the attendee or alumni discount or the early bird badge price. So if you happen to watch this on the day that it is released, you have until basically midnight tonight Eastern time. And then the early bird will go away. And also encourage you to, if you do have your badge, start getting your prototypes listed on the website. We will be doing the showcase, Emily and I, on the 15th of May. So I'll have one more of these streams before we do that stream. But that one is a more like 3 times a year type stream, whereas this Minigame Monday is more like weekly. So thanks for visiting with me, Jack, and anybody else who is watching live but being quiet in the chat. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again for Minigame Monday next week. Bye.